Hey guys, Staying Dad GT back with another mod to install. Nothing crazy, we're just doing some aesthetic stuff. Um, Hopefully you watched a previous video, which I'll put a link up above here to it about the 5.0 badge install. I did have the black GT emblem and pony emblem to match that, but I did decide I wanted to color match that. However, with me having a Velocity Blue, you can't find the paint anywhere, so ended up taking it to the body shop that we use. Mechanic body shop. They do pretty much everything. They do really good work, and I had them paint it. It was about 45 bucks. It only took them like a day, so it was a pretty quick turnaround. So I have the car out here. I'll just quickly show you. Pretty happy with the paint. So this is the idea here. I do like the black look, but I just kind of, I see a lot of people do that. And really on the back, with the rear deck lid being gloss black, I kind of wanted the GT to actually pop out a little bit more. So just kind of going for that look. On the rear deck lid, there's several videos, CJ Pony Parts has some, where they kind of just pop the GT off and it breaks, and that's that. I think I'm going to opt the option to remove the deck lid panel, mainly because I do want to put those rivets on the back of the emblems. Just want to be extra safe and not rely on just the tape on the back, considering not only did I pay to get the emblems, which are from CJ Pony Parts, but I paid to have it painted, so I just kind of want to be extra safe. I don't think it's going to be that much extra work. I know it's a little bit extra, but it's just a matter of removing a few bolts and popping that off, and then scraping, breaking the tabs on the back of it. So, it might prove to be a little bit more difficult, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. So I will try and video some of what I'm doing. And then for the front, I will try the easy method for where you remove the 4 bolts so you can push the radiator back, and just see if I can wedge my hand in there. I really don't know if I can. I did watch a video, I think, of from Xander13 when he installed his on the front. He was able to get his hand in there and I think put like 1 or 2 of the rivets on. I would be okay with that, but we'll see. I'm wearing sleeves for once. Don't normally wear sleeves. I'm hoping that I can eliminate maybe some of the gashes and the cuts on the forearm, because a lot of times you finish working on your car, it looks like you slit your arms a bunch of times. So anyway, let me get all set up here. I think I'm going to start with the rear, and we'll get going. So a couple things. There are 2 little black tabs here. Covers. Let's pull those off. I believe they're going to be 7mm bolts. There's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously you need your drill and your adapters. I kind of rigged up a prying tool. It's really for spackling, so I just put some painter's tape over it just in case I needed to use it. So we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and get the bolts removed. So as you can see here, there's a clip, piece of plastic in the middle, and that's what you have to pull apart. Alright, we got it. We'll probably have to pull out all these metal clips and slide them back on these black plastic pieces for it to go in better. And then reinstall it. Again, don't forget to unhook the camera. There's really not a ton of slack on it. It's really hard because I can't feel my fingers, but we got it off. Voila. So, let's take it inside. Okay, now that we're inside, it's nice and warm. I'm going to flip it over here. So you can see there's 4 spots here where there's looks like some plastic rivets or something melted onto there. So what I need to do is break those off, and then from there you should be able to push out the GT emblem. So let me go get something to break those off real quickly. Alright, so I wasn't really sure what I needed. I've seen a lot of people use knives and stuff, so I brought a whole bunch of different size flatheads because it looks like I might be able to break some with like that. A hammer if I need to get a little bit of leverage on the flathead, and I brought a knife. So let's start with the medium size and see what happens here. We got it off. It's broken. So I might have been a little rough on some of these, but that's okay because again, it does come with the rivets, and I plan on putting them on, which is why I went this route. Put it back over. Go get a towel, do a little bit of cleaning real quickly, and then we'll install it. So wipe this down. Fiber here. Yeah. And you know what? I was definitely way too rough. I cracked this whole thing. Well, that's my own fault. Alright guys, so I broke the Decklid panel. I was too rough and just not patient enough doing the hammering and stuff. It breaks it pretty easily. And I should have known, you know, I've seen some threads and some other stuff before where Decklid panels just, you know, kept coming cracked. So let me show you. I actually reinstalled, before I show you, I reinstalled the Chrome GT logo, which I'm glad I didn't break it. I kind of popped it back into place. I used what's called CA glue. It's cyanoacrylate and like a fast stop and instant set. So I use this stuff when I do headlight retrofitting. Super, super strong. I think it should hold the emblem in just fine. So you can see I kind of just layered it up here, put the instant stuff on it, and it's all dry. I would use this, maybe it's not quite dry yet, but it still should hold everything. It should dry to hold it in place. But I would use this like initially when I'm aiming a projector to hold it in place before I use like silicone and stuff like that. So it can definitely handle heat, the road elements and stuff like that. If that GT emblem falls off, whatever, not a big deal. I am definitely not installing this yet. Not sure what I'm going to do. I'll either order a new one. I think they're maybe about $200. Don't really want to spend it. I will contact my salesman just because the car's only 2 weeks old and see what maybe they're willing to do. Maybe they're willing to say it's a defect. I don't know. I don't want to lie about it. I'm not going to say that, oh, look, I noticed it's broken. You know, it's user error, and if it costs me money to fix it, it costs me money to fix it. That's not my bad. But I wanted to show you so you don't make my mistake. You know, could be worse. So, as you can see here, I don't know if you can see the crack very well. Let me see if I can see through the camera. Sorry guys. So there's a nice big crack going right here, and then it follows back up right here. There we go, good angle right there. So yeah, it's definitely cracked. Oh, and under the T here, I knocked a chunk out of there. So I did a number on it. Let's just say that. So I'm going to double check that this is glued in okay. Maybe I'll add some other adhesive or something onto it. GB Laud, I don't know. Then I'm just going to reinstall it, and we'll wait till next time. So maybe that's a lesson learned for me of it's safe to go with just the double side sticky because that's what most people do, and just pry the GT off and not deal with breaking the back. Or if I'm going to break through the back portion, just use a knife to break the melted plastic rather than hammering. So hard lesson learned, totally sucks. So I will post this video once I figure out all of this. So we'll go install this and maybe work on the front emblem and hopefully end it with a good day here. So yeah. Okay, so after an unsuccessful rear emblem install due to me cracking it, I did get it back on the car for now. But man, that thing is cracked here and here and here and there, everywhere. So a little disappointed. Actually, extremely disappointed. As long as the GT emblem stays on for now, I'll deal with it. Well, I have no choice but to deal with it, but I'll be satisfied until I figure out what's going on. Hopefully, get a replacement. So let's move on to the front. So we are in the engine bay. Believe it or not, I've had the car for 2 weeks, and I have not opened the engine. Look at that! But I just opened it up, and look, they still even have. Sorry, I was not aiming this well. They still have that on the 5.0. I love peeling this kind of stuff off when you get electronics and things like that. Man, it's a really big engine bay, gotta say. So for the front emblem, one, I want to hope we have more success with this. But first, you need to remove. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like there's 8 clips here. Unfortunately, my tab puller is in my old car that my wife has. So I'm going to have to just be careful and use flatheads to pull those off. And then once you do that, I believe there will be 4 bolts for the radiator. I think they're right under here and under here. That should allow what it looks like to just push it back and wedge the hand under. They say it helps if you're a small guy. I don't necessarily think I have small, so we'll see. It may have to be an unsuccessful install day today for both, but we shall see. So let's get the camera set up, go get the tools. So I do find it helpful if you don't have a tab puller to have 2 flatheads so you can kind of pull up from both ends. The nice thing is normally these things turn, so if there's like just from the angles you can't really get it wedged in there, you can always turn it. The key is put it under and kind of dance it up, wiggle up each side. So we don't want to break these things. Right up. Perfect. So from other videos I've watched, in the 15 to 17s, you used to be able to remove the latch here and just stick your hand right down there, which would be awesome. I mean, it would be like really, really easy install. But I guess there's this whole dampener thing here that's, as you can tell, completely in the way. So what you've seen is people remove these bolts here, those two, and and it loosens the radiator. And you can basically, I guess there's a little wiggle room to push it back. So we're going to try it. Alright, so we have our handy dandy 10mm. I'm wondering if you could remove these bolts here that go across. We got the pulley off. Not easy, a little painful, and apparently my arm was too big because I got a little bit of a bend in there. So I think what eventually I'll do is when I do get those LEDs I was mentioning installed under there, and I take the bumper off for that, I'll install the rivets on the back Also at the same time, as I mentioned in another video, I do plan on putting the Dial Dynamics LED boards in here, so you're gonna have to take the headlights off anyway for that. So we're gonna clean that up, get it installed. I'll show a video. At least we got one installed, right? So partially successful day. So I did have to end up drilling this middle hole with the 5/32 bit, just for the center one to fit a little bit better, and just a tad on where the eyeball goes. Did a test fit. Looks like it should be good to go. It's been clean. I think it looks good. Matches the car. Just a little different than the black. It breaks up the black grille. Again, to each his own. But I think I'm really happy with this look. So we at least got the front done. Let's get it back together and see what we can do about the rear. Alright, so I wanted to follow up my little mistake I made trying to do the rear badge, and when I broke the Decklid. I did luckily find a really good deal on eBay. It was $45 shipped for a Decklid that had only 200 miles or so on it. So I got really lucky, especially because Ford quoted me $700, and then looking on different forums, Facebook groups, things like that, it was, you know, anywhere around 200, 150, and mostly for the 15 to 17s. And for those of you who don't know, the 15 to 17 Decklid is completely smooth, and the 18 to 19 just has a little horizontal line, just a little extra design aspect. I really kind of wanted to stick with that for now. So I am here to finish installing this guy here. And so I got this from a user, I believe it's Shelby American actually, on eBay, and I can send a link. Very well packaged. They were very quick to respond to some of my questions, and they had a very accurate description. So I hit my duct there. Trying to do this one-handed here. Alright, so here we go. So it does need a little cleaning. It does have a few marks on it down here, which I think is going to be okay. Well, one, because mine's cracked like all over the place over here. But I'm going to use my broken one to figure out how to polish these things and take scratches out of them. I think it's going to be something that happens a lot over the life of the car, but I am planning on getting it ceramic coated, so I think possibly they might polish it as well when I do that, and that will protect from getting swirls on it. But unfortunately on my front grille, I used a rag I didn't know had some stuff on it, and I scratched it up a little bit. Not horrible, but just enough that it bothers me. But nice thing is this is already off the car, so what we're going to do, let's flip it over here. And earlier in the video, these are the 4 things you need to break. I'm not going to use a flathead and a hammer or anything. I think I'm going to start off with a Dremel. Not that bit. I will use probably just like a little screw bit and see if I can just kind of break that up some. Won't have to put a lot of force into it. I can't tell here if it's already cracked a little bit from the factory or not, but we will see. So let me set up this the camera on a little different tripod and try and get close to here, and get this going. Okay, so I have kind of just like a little drill bit tip on here just to try and break that up some. Then I might use that in conjunction with a knife. So a knife here to break that up. You can't see I have safety goggles on. Definitely when you're using a Dremel you want to use safety goggles. Between different headlight retrofitting I've done and stuff, it can definitely shoot things up at your eyes. I had metal. There was one time I didn't use it and I got a little metal shard in it, and that was not very pleasurable. So again, I want to be as careful as I can with this, just because of how things happened before. So let's get started. Well, that's not good. I was just not paying attention and hit the tip of this with the bit. Just not having some good luck here. Hit it right here. I think that's okay. You probably won't be able to see it. Alright, so we have cut these down some here. What you're kind of looking for is a little circle in there. I didn't want to go too far. I just wanted to break it up some and try to pry up from this side. That's done in like the diode videos. Again, these are still super fragile because I think, yeah, see there's even a little crack I believe right here. So yeah, that sucks. So let's see if we can find something to pry it up with. Might try to use this guy here and put some painter's tape down. So let me grab some painter's tape. Okay, so we're going to put some painter's tape on, if I can find the edge here. Okay, I'm afraid to be too forceful because, as you can tell, I've had bad luck with this. Alright, so got it out. Got a few scratches in here. Again, I think that's okay. I'm going to figure out how to polish this before I put it on. Let's get a close up here, take off the tape. And there's still little cracks in here. You can see one around here, and a little one right there, but it's at least better than what happened to mine. And I might even consider throwing some like epoxy on the back or like a silicone or something, just maybe to fill in some of those cracks and give it some extra padding or something. Yeah, you can see I scratched it up pretty badly here. So I think I have some plastic polish I'm gonna go try and use on the other one. And then let's see, that one didn't come all the way out. You know, so I did drill the holes, probably a little large, but that is fine. Because part of the reason I wanted to take the back off originally was I wanted to use the rivets. So let's just poke this out real quickly. Well, there we go. At least check how this one looks and fits. So, got an idea of how it's going to look. So let me work on really kind of cleaning this thing up. Okay, so I gave it a polish with actually a mix of this Plastic X, and a 3M rubbing compound. These are both meant for headlights, but they can be used on other plastics. They didn't necessarily get all the scratches out, but I think it did a pretty good job at polishing it, to be honest. You know, these are scratches from me removing it. It's not coming out. Again, there's still a little crack there, and I think it's inevitable with these things. They're just, it's the plastic that they are. I'm not sure if there's much I can do about it, except just hope it doesn't get worse. So I'm going to go ahead and put the badge on. So the rivet's just go on like that. Again, I didn't want to take a chance of just falling off. I really just hope that this thing, the crack can last that's on it. It's not super noticeable. I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera here. I'm sure I can see it because, well, I'm the one working on it knowing it's there, but most of the time, little things like this, people never even notice. So, make sure the GET is all flush, it looks like. And now it's time to go out to the car and install it. Alright, so I can tell you this removes a lot easier after the first time you take it off. Don't forget about the to take the camera out. So those two bolts there, I think I had to end up using a 7/32. The 5mm was too small, 6mm was too big. You can see the C8 glue I used to hold on the GT from the one that came with the car. Held pretty well. Turn it around here. Show you those cracks again. There's a crack, and there's a crack. There's a crack. There's a crack everywhere. Crack, crack. So yeah, this one's pretty bad. Not a problem though, because I will get this other one switched in, and again, I just really hope the cracks don't get worse on the other one. So we shall see. So these bolts here, they actually hold on like this bracket over the camera. So you should be able to just pop the camera out and put it right back in. So I wanted to make sure that everything was ready to go with this new one here. So I was looking at the back zone. So you see here those 4 7mm bolts. This particular seller I got them from doesn't have the clips in there. So hopefully I can take those out. I don't think I see anything else missing. We've got the bumper pad, I guess, right here. There, it's got all the other padding around. And again, we don't need the metal clips on these because they're in the trunk still. Sorry, there's a glare there. But yeah, they're all still in the trunk. So let's try to see if we got a way to remove these. So removing them wasn't so bad. Basically, I took 2 small flatheads and pried at the top and bottom until they came out. And then I think from there they just kind of snap back in. Alright, again, these may be overkill. But like I said, I just don't want to get pinched. And you have to be careful because I don't want to break the Decklid. So I definitely think the trick was to take the pliers, squeeze them towards the top, and then push them down with like something, like a glove or something. So now let's go ahead and install it. One of the things I have learned over time of installing things, when you unplug electrical, lights, whatever it might be, is before you put everything back together, screws, bumpers, whatever you're working on, make sure it works. So we're going to check that the camera is working. One, I want to make sure that I put it in the right way. It would have fit in either way, so if I would have put it in the wrong way, it would end up being upside down. Secondly, I don't want to deal with this thing anymore. So let's go ahead and give you a nice cold start. It's not as cold today. It's actually, I don't know, low 50s, but it has not been started today. Oh, that's a lovely sound, I must admit. So, let's go close this slightly. Alright. Alright, let's put it in reverse here. Looks good to me. The only thing I don't see are the backup lines. I don't know if you can tell that. So, not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's not because I'm not installed, or or what. Maybe it's my e-brake's up. No, door's open. I don't know. I'll mess around with that just to make sure. Sorry about the music. So give me 1 second here, and we'll double check what's going on. Okay, so I unplugged the camera, just plug it back in to make sure I heard it click. But I think I know why it's not doing the lines. So we still don't see any lines. Sorry if you can't see that on the screen. I think it's because the trunk's not latched. So I'm going to go ahead and install it, latch the trunk, and see if it works. Alright, trunk's closed, lines are back. Just go ahead and shut her off. There you have it. So again, earlier in the video you saw I hit it with the Dremel. Idiot me. Not too bad, can't really see it. It's pretty close to the car. Installed pretty fine. Again, there's a few scratches down here. I don't know if you can see it. That little crack right there, and some scratches I did right here from installing it. But the polished well. Didn't necessarily get rid of all the scratches like I was hoping. But I think that makes a really big difference to me in the back end. Something small, but big difference. So I think that concludes the video for today. So again, this was a couple-day process. I hope you can all learn from any mistakes I made. You know, I may have done some stupid things here, tried different things, but as long as you can learn from my mistakes and not make them, great. You know, someone has to make them somewhere. So hopefully I can either inspire some ideas or whatever through some of the things I'm doing. So again, I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, again, because I'm not super consistent on posting videos. Again, I've said it a few times. I think it's going to slow down here for just a minute. Car payments will start kicking in, you know, with insurance going up. Just got to make sure that finances are doing well before then. But I definitely have a lot more I want to do. I'm not done getting dial dynamics products, some stuff for the headlights. But I really think the next thing before performance mods that I really want to save up for is a ceramic coat. I don't think I can pass that up, the type of protection it does. With it being my daily driver, and you know, in St. Louis, you never know what kind of weather we're going to get. It just gives me the opportunity to keep the car clean and protected. So I think that's really a must-do. So I think that's what I'll be saving up for. Anyway, I hope to post some other videos for you guys. If you want to see any content, questions, comments, whatever it might be, you can check me out on Instagram at StingDadGT. Obviously on my YouTube channel here, so subscribe to that. And I appreciate your time. Peace out, guys.